All right, Stanimal, what's going on?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, very good, very good. I'm not too happy about becoming 42 years old, but I can't really say that too loud because of Milos. But
Oh, happy
What was
birthday
that?
2 days ago.
thank
Oh,
you.
sorry. How did I
Yeah,
miss that?
yeah, it's terrible because I don't want to announce it.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Uh, Stanimal,
Yeah.
is this your real first name or it's something that you created? Is Stanimal
Yeah.
your real name?
No, my real name is Stanislas.
Stan?
Stanislas.
Stanislas.
Who coined the name Stanimal? Was that a nickname somebody gave to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's in French when you say like, when you like kind of like express like a shocked impression and you call someone an animal, you say just animal, like so it sounds like this. And then it's,
Okay,
I was
okay.
like, oh, that's pretty good. So, and then when I came to the US and I would say my name, people couldn't say Stanislas. So, and Stan, like it's basic. So when I created my Instagram and like all my nicknames online or like different accounts, I use that animal, and that's just stuck.
I like it. I like it. It's good though. It's catchy. It's perfect. I think it's great when like a bodybuilder or competitor gets like a real good nickname and it sticks and it stays. You know, I love that. I love that. So what's been going on, man? How's training been going?
Well, a lot has been going on. I mean, I just saw Milos last week in the gym, and I was telling him I just got out of the hospital. Spent 6 days. I went to Pittsburgh with my fiance. She won the overall fit model and pro card. And after that, we decided to like do a tour to like honor Sean. So we went to Virginia to the DMV Iron. Then we stopped by DC where Sean was buried to just pay I mean, I haven't, yeah, he passed away about 4 years ago now. And it's been like a really, for me, like a long healing process. So kind of like being around there, being back on the East Coast and being not far from it, I felt like the need to go and stop by. So we went to the cemetery. And then on Friday, we were supposed to go to Bev's gym and then Saturday to the New York Pro. But Friday morning, I went to get checked in the hospital and my blood sugar was almost 800 or
Oh my God,
yeah.
800.
Yes. Yeah.
What did they say? They're like, we have to admit you.
Yes. That's what they said.
Yeah. Did they come out with a cart and like set you down and be like, are you okay?
But it asked me if I was okay. And yeah, they definitely like kept me for like about 6 days total. I came in like Friday morning, probably around 9 a.m. and I was released last Thursday. So like we're Friday now, so 8 days ago. And I came back to Vegas last Thursday night.
So what do they contribute that to? Do they do your A1C as well? Do they do
We
a
did
hemoglobin
everything.
A1C?
So like I was telling you on WhatsApp, last year after the Chicago, actually after Vancouver, I was working with Patrick. I was starting to, so we did Vancouver, that didn't go well. Like my body didn't respond the way, something was off, probably that. And then we went to the Chicago Pro, which was like 6 days after because Vancouver was on Sunday, I believe. And then Chicago was like Saturday the following week. So finished the show on Sunday, went to like, packed all my stuff, prepared my meal for the next day. It was like kind of late. And I had a flight early on to go to Chicago on Monday morning. So I had to wake up early, leave the Airbnb. And like if you've been to Vancouver Pro, it's like quite far from the airport, from the city, if you want to go to Vancouver Airport. So I think it was like an hour drive. So took an Uber back to the airport, flew to Chicago, got there, trained legs because my only opportunity to train legs was like that Monday morning, that Monday. And then like the plan was there from like Patrick wanted me to be leaner. I thought I needed to be fuller, but like I was like, okay, you're my coach, I trust you. So the first Monday and I think even Tuesday, we were like depleting. And then on Tuesday, I posed with a Chuck from a USA gym in Chicago, who's like the
Sano?
sorry.
Sano?
Yeah, he's the
Yes.
chairman for the NPC in Illinois,
Yeah, I might just throw in, Sano, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first guy I've seen in the United States. He beat
There's
me in
plenty,
a contest, and I was like so impressed with him.
yeah,
Phenomenal.
there's plenty pictures of you in the gym. There's actually great pictures of all the legends in the sport.
Mm.
It's a great gym. It's like if you like the old school vibe and a lot of great equipment from, back in the days.
Sorry that I interrupted you. So you were there?
Because I lived in Chicago for about 10 months after when COVID started. I moved from LA to Chicago. And so I was training there once a week. I was on the north side, but I would go down to the south side once a week to train there because I was getting a massage treatment like every Wednesday, I believe. So I would train legs usually there and then get a massage and spend the day on the south side. And so I saw Michelle, who was the co-owner of the gym, on Monday, and she was like, "Oh, you should see Chuck. He'd be here tomorrow because he was, he's like he was doing a firefighter. He was doing all kind of things, but he retired, so he was now more in the gym." Anyway, long story short, she was like, "Yeah, you should." She was like, "You seem flat to me, but you should maybe ask him to, because he saw you last year when I did the Chicago Pro 2, and I got third, with Justin Shire who won and John De La Rosa who got second." And he was like, "Yeah, you should ask him his feedback. He's going to be judging the show this year, actually." So I was like, "Yeah, of course, that'd be great." So on Tuesday, I posed for him, and he was like, "Yeah, your conditioning is amazing, but now you need to fill out. You got like 4 days to fill out, so it's time to hit the carbs." So I sent that to Patrick. He was not really on board, but he was like, "That's what you want to do it. Let's do it." So we started the carb process. And as I was starting this carb process, he wanted me to wait until after I worked out. So after I worked out, I checked my blood sugar. Just normally I like to be that's actually an advice that was given by my friend, who's now my coach, Dom, to have a blood sugar under 100 or so, to retain less water when you carb up. So I checked my blood sugar and I think I was about 110 or something. I was like, perfect, I just finished. I'm gonna wait 10 minutes or so and just take my protein shake. And back then I should be lower. I should be under 100. Then I was started making my stuff, cleaning putting my gym clothes together, getting ready to head back I was staying with my friend at his house, and I checked my blood sugar again, and now it's 165 or something. It's going up. I'm like, what the hell? I haven't had any carbs since Sunday. So I was like, oh, but probably my blood glucose monitor is off. So I didn't really worry too much about it then. But then I was on my way home, I was I'm gonna stop by getting a new one at the CVS. So I got a new one, tested again. And when I was in the 200s, I was like, what is going on? So I started, monitoring this, and he was just not responding the way he was supposed to. So I started using some insulin. I didn't have any insulin with me, so I had to try to get from Walmart the Novolog. I think it's that you can
Novolin R. Yeah.
Okay. No. Oh yeah, Himalayan R. So that's what I got first, and I think I was able to get some faster acting. And then I was trying to, to lower my blood sugar with insulin, and it was not really cooperative. But so that's why he made the carb process very, very hard, because I have to eat so many carbs, and then I had to spread out the meals apart more, and so my sleep was suffering, and I was already tired. And I think all the lack of sleep, it's not helping with the blood sugar. Obviously, you raise your cortisol, and
yeah,
I create a perfect storm where I was able to kind of pull it off for the show. You were coaching Jordan, who actually was behind me at prejudging, and then we ended up tied, and he won finals, so he ended up ahead of me and placing in the top 6. And I did after that. When I got home, I started doing some testing, and Patrick wasn't sure what to do with me, so I reached out to Dom, who had some ideas of what to do, and then he had some doctors he could connect me with, or some tests he wanted me to do. So I started working with him, on trying to recover my health and see what was going on. And we've been working at it. So after a while, I told Patrick, there's no need to have to cook in the kitchen. So maybe we'll get back to it later, but right now I need to fix this. And Dom is really handling this. So I'm going to work with them. And then been working with Dom from July, August last year up and going on right now still. And so we fixed. We did a bunch of tests. My fatty liver. I had a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I'm not sure why he thinks it's attributed to the GH, or who knows exactly. It's what started what. Kind of like the egg or the chicken. You tell me if I'm telling too much, because it's a long story.
No. This is good. This is good information, because Milos and I had a discussion the other day about the importance of controlling blood sugars and how blood sugars can get out of control. We can become insulin resistant and eventually become type 2 diabetic if we're not careful, because the amount of food we have to eat, growth hormone use, sometimes lack of insulin use, and of course genetics. There's a big genetic component in obviously all of this, but I think a lot of people don't understand. But go ahead.
Yeah. So So yeah, exactly. It's so complicated, and it can go either way. I mean, I'm gonna stick to the story because otherwise I'm gonna get lost. But so we fixed the fatty liver disease. We did like a keto diet for like 4 weeks or so. I dropped like 6 inches off my waist. Like the liver like shrunk. We did some like scan and stuff. Everything was back to normal. We did some imaging to all my organs to see if like there was any like type of cancer or any other issues that was like, behind and causing this stuff. We did some autoimmune tests. We did a bunch of things, but I didn't have health insurance, so I was paying everything out of pocket. So that was slowing down
Oh,
the process a little bit. But anyway, we like fixed a lot of stuff. The pancreas was a little tired, so we used more like digestive enzymes. We used a bunch of things to really help regulate my body, which we did, and it was starting to get better. And then we found out kind of like what I thought was the root. It was kind of like gut issue, some type of bacterial overgrowth, because we tested my IgG and it was like 102, 105. Like my Saccharomyces was very, very high. Cerevisiae, they were really high. And that's when Dom told me, like, I have clients who have Crohn's disease, because normally it's 70% of people who have high IgG usually have Crohn's disease. So he was like, I've never seen a number that high, and I believe you might have Crohn's disease. And I was like, there's no way I have Crohn's. I've been a sport athlete my whole life. I've pushed my body to the extreme. Like, I've never had any issues, so I don't really understand. So I was kind of fighting the idea, but anyway, so we did some more testing, and it kept like pointing toward that. And then I had some bacterial overgrowth. My did the GI map. My bacteria, well, my gut was kind of out of balance, which is the primary immune system. It comes from the gut, so that explained like the autoimmune, the other issues that. So I thought that was really the root of it, the bacterial overgrowth. But then, as I was in FIBO helping Sergio to do the show, I was there to like help him, just drive him around, make his food, or help him train, pose, whatever, kind of multitask man. Like I got some tests back again that pointing out more toward Crohn's disease. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I have Crohn's disease. But that week over there, like I didn't sleep much because it was a lot of work, and with the time change and all that stuff. So it was pretty like demanding on my body. And that was like about, FIBO was April. So now actually we have mid-April. So everything started like piling up. I started getting fatigued. But anyway, when I got back home, my fiance, she was doing the Cutler that week. And then the following week she had to do a natural show to qualify for the Pittsburgh, because the Pittsburgh was a pro qualifier, but natural. So you had to do a natural local show, even though she had done like 3 NPC shows, none of them were natural. So she did another show again the following week. And then 3 weeks later, we had the Pittsburgh Pro. And so in the meantime, I kind of like made peace with the idea that I might have Crohn's. And I was like, actually, as a bodybuilder, that might be a blessing because, as I'm more sensitive to food, I can know exactly what works and what doesn't for me because my body tells me. But what I realized was really important for me is like that the key is not being anxious about it, because like kind of like being apprehensive about the food, be like, oh, that might be off, or well, meaning outside, I don't know what they put in there, and kind of start stressing about it was actually creating the issues,
yeah, making it worse. Yeah.
yeah, making the blood
Did,
sugar.
did you have messed up stools and digestion prior to that?
So that's the funny thing is like I didn't really realize that. I mean, to me, I had bowel movements like I thought that was normal. I had bowel movement like 6 times a day after each meal, kind of like a clock, an hour after my meal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And most of it was normal, but like the GI map showed that it wasn't normal. So that's actually wrote a book, like I was starting an ebook, but I might just publish it as a book if I can. Where like the conclusion of all this book was like all my issues came from the gut, and how recovery is so important, and really, really balancing between pushing your body and making sure you recover from it.
Which is, listen, I'm gonna stop you really quick, and then you can continue your story. Being a dietitian, my master's in human nutrition, like you're 100% right. There's more research is coming out supporting that a lot of disease states originate from the gut. So, like when the gut microbiome's off, you have gut dysbiosis or something going on in there. It can start to create manifest into other things. Just like when they see individuals who have a very healthy gut, those populations tend to have lower risk of heart disease, lower risk of diabetes, all these other disease states. So it's 100% true. It's also true, as you stated, the more stressed you get about something, the worse everything gets.
Yeah.
Because now it's like you have to control your mind. And I think that's a lot of people don't understand. It's like And the other thing is, as bodybuilders, or most of us, we're very mentally tough. So mentally, our brain goes, oh, well, I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And your body's like, no, the fuck you won't.
Yeah.
And then your body starts to kind of break down. It's like, that's the only bad part for us is like a regulator in our brain where mentally we can push and endure through most everything. I had ulcerative colitis, and I brought ulcerative colitis on myself years ago from bodybuilding. I eventually healed it, but I brought it all myself. And I was very similar to you, where like, no sleep, I don't care. I'll just keep going. Just keep pushing, push through everything, ignored everything until eventually it got so bad where I was like shitting 14 times a day, blood and mucus. So then I had to actually do something about it. But I just wanted to point that out because that's important. And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't put emphasis on gut health.
Yeah. And I think that's really important. So when we're trying to bulk, we like force food. And so basically the conclusion of all this Crohn and all that stuff I came to was just that you got to listen to your body. Like with Patrick, I did like 3 years or so with him, almost like 4 years, I think. And, we barely did any cheat meals. I was eating a lot of like carbs and every day, just clean food and a ton of it, but zero cheat meal. I think we're just doing like maybe one cheat meal after a show. And I really didn't care for it because I'm not someone who really have cravings or anything. So I just kind of like really follow the plan, and whatever that is, I'm all in. But I realized, you need to listen to your body. So that's when I realized that I needed to pay more attention of what my body was telling me. Like if it's, that's where like you have to find that right balance where it's like, are you just like justifying certain things like, oh, you want to eat, something that's more calorie dense, or actually you really your body needs it because there's a lot of studies that shows that, for example, when you crave chocolate, it's like you have a lack of magnesium, and that's your body kind of telling you he wants more magnesium. Or if you crave certain food, usually it's like there's a deficiency in your body that your body is trying to tell you and trying to balance out on its own. So, but that thing also is like, our society is like a lot of people are addicted to sugar and things like that. So that's where it can become really complicated to find the right balance. But so for me, I thought I found a good balance, and I was able to eat more food, a little more or like off diet food even, like, some pancakes here and there, getting some stuff like that. And actually, when I started doing this, I had my monitor, I had the Dexcom G7, and my blood sugar starting to be much better than it's been like the whole year. Now I was fluctuating between like 80 to 120. So which is
nice. So
yeah.
Right now you're back down to 80 to 120?
No. This morning I was back down faster at 85, which is great. Yesterday too, I was back down under. Actually, the last couple of mornings I was pretty low. I ended up being almost like hypo.
And where are you after a meal? 90 minutes to 2 hours after meal? Are you still like under 160, 180?
No, it depends. So it changes all the time. And it really like, so if I eat every 2 hours, that's when it's the best. Because if I don't eat and I'm like, oh, it's gonna bring down, even if I take insulin and stuff. No, if I don't eat, it's like it stresses my body because it needs food, and then it start going up. Like my body start dumping glucose.
Dumping glucagon, yeah.
Yeah. So it makes it very complicated. I have to be really like on top of it and keep eating. Right now I ate I ate just before as we were getting on, and now it's going up, 143. So
143 is a hell of a lot better than 800.
well, for sure. But like for the whole week, I was between 400 and 800 for the whole week in the hospital.
Did you feel horrible?
Well, I felt horrible because of all the stuff they gave me. That's the main thing. And I felt a little off, for certain things too, like this. It was complicated because like once they put me in the hospital, I think they gave me stuff to sleep, and there was no windows, no clocks, nothing. So I had no idea how long I slept. So now I was starting having this type of confusion, like, what day are we? Where am I? Is this like a dream? Is that real? Like I was starting like, and that could also be the neurotoxicity from like the ketoacidosis from having so many carbs, such a high blood sugar.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the other thing. So that then they started doing all these tests, and I have everything on my they have like a website portal where I have access to all the test results, and they were just scratching their head like, what's going on with this guy? And I was telling them like, I'm a bodybuilder, I need to work out, and they didn't let me work out. And I was like, to me, I need to balance out rest, training, sleep, and food. That's how I'm going to be able to and I was in the hospital, so they had no like good food really. They had
no.
And then they had a diet for me where I was allowed to pick 90 grams of carbs per meal. So I had to pick my meals for like breakfast, lunch, dinner. But it was so stupid. Like I talked to the dietitian about it. I was like, if I pick a burger, that gives me 0 points, 0 carbs. You guys don't say there's any carbs in there. If I pick a pizza, fries, 0, 0, 0. If I just take like a creamer for my coffee, that's 2 points. I was like, that makes 0 sense. And then if I eat like rice, it's like 20 points or something, like 30, 40 points. And I'm like, what I would like to eat is like some rice, chicken, some veggies, but that's going to get me over the top. And otherwise I'm going to be starving because I'm used to eat like 6 to 8,000 calories a day.
No, in the
Now I'm
hospital, they give
yeah,
you free meals. I used to work in the hospital, and I remember, like, when someone comes in with, acute acidosis or whatever their admission is, or they're a big eater, it's like we can do double portions
yeah,
sometimes, but if they're diabetic, we can't. So we'll give them double protein if their
yeah,
EGFR is okay. Then we can give them snacks, and the snack is like a half of a sandwich. It's like
yeah.
it's still not even close to enough what we eat.